So another year comes to a close and I have to do my best and worst list of the year. This is like a day late, but whatever. I get my best here on New Year's Eve. My worst will be up probably tomorrow, New Year's Day. If not, Tuesday. Okay, so this is the hardest list I had to make so far at all the years I've been doing this. Because I loved every movie in my top 10 pretty much equally. So it was so hard to rank them, so I had to kind of go by essential things, like the impact it left on me, how many times I saw it, did I cry, stuff like that. So I'm pulling up my list right now. So I have a reason for putting everything where it is. This is an incredibly interchangeable list, so maybe if I see something again, something might change on this list, but I'm trying to keep it as concrete as I can get it. So this is about as solid as I could probably get this list. But first, before we get into the whole numbers and everything, I'm going to do some honorable mentions. I'm not going to put up the posters, I'm just going to rapid fire and name the movies because there's a lot of them. Okay, so honorable mentions are Better Watch Out, The Big Sick, The Devil's Candy, Get Out, The Glass Castle, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, John Wick Chapter 2, Logan Lucky, Split, Valerian and the City of a Thousand Planets, Wonder Woman, the Lego Batman movie, Thor Ragnarok, and Dunkirk. Okay, so that is my whole honorable mentions list. Did I mention Wonder Woman? I think I did. So. But yeah, okay, so now we're going to start with my top 10. Oh, and actually no, it's top 15, what am I saying? I'm doing top 15 this year again, because like I did last year. Losing my head here. But yeah, number 15 is It Comes at Night, a movie that either you don't remember, or you never saw, or if you did see it, you didn't really like it very much, or at least as much as I did. I thought this was a riveting thriller. It was really, really good. I love this movie. It was so intense. Everything was kept in secret. You were never given the answers, which I actually didn't mind. They're intentionally removed from the movie, so your imagination kind of fills in the blanks of what the heck's going on with this place, what's going on outside, because these people are never allowed to go outside at night, and it's like, what's out there at night? We don't know. But it's intense, and it leads to one of the greatest climaxes of the year, or at least one of the most intense. So yeah, number 15 is It Comes at Night. I thought it was great. Number 14 is Brawl in Cell Block 99, another movie you've probably never heard of. It stars Vince Vaughn. Vince Vaughn is fantastic in this movie. It's his best performance ever. This is really Vince Vaughn's best work. He's such a really, like, fantastic, like, grizzled, like, he gives such a weathered performance in this movie, almost. His performance is very intense. He's holding a lot back emotionally, and you could see it in his eyes, and it's really, really great. And it leads to one of the most fun plots of the year. It gets off to a bit of a rough start, but man, when it gets going, it gets going. Ooh. This movie is intense as well. This is another one of those where you're put in a very uncomfortable situation. You just kind of have to see how everything unfolds. And you may not always like all the outcomes, but it's even better for that. So yeah, Brawl in Cell Block 99 is an awesome movie. Very well directed as well. Number 13 is Spiderman Homecoming, my actual personal favorite MCU movie of the year. I thought Thor Ragnarok was great, and it was in my honorable mentions. Guardians was great, that's also in my honorable mentions. But Spider-Man Homecoming really hit me. I think what Tom Holland has done with the character is so great, and I think what Marvel is now doing with incorporating Spider-Man into the MCU is even better. He's, like, this character is awesome. This is Spider-Man, and I love the villain played by Michael Keaton, the Vulture. He added a really interesting layer to the story, The action's well directed. It's a really great personal story with Peter Parker. I really couldn't get enough Spider-Man Homecoming. Uh, Probably the most underrated like superhero movie of the year. Like no one's really talking about it, and I don't get it why. It's so great. Anyway, number 12, War for the Planet of the Apes, a movie I wanted to put higher up on my list, but I just couldn't do it. But this is a fantastic movie. It's not really a war movie. It does definitely not lie to you necessarily, because there is a battle in the movie and there's a psychological war going on between the humans and the apes, but it's not this big bombastic explosion filled movie. It's very calm. It's just a really fantastic character study with an excellent villain played by Woody Harrelson, and just amazing acting from Andy Serkis. Andy Serkis needs his Oscar nomination already, or his Oscar win, really. He's got plenty of nominations, but he gives one of the best performances of the year. I truly believe that, and he's not going to get anything for it, and that really pisses me off. But this movie has the best visual effects of the year, and is technically, on a technical level, possibly the best movie of the year. It's just fantastic. It's an epic conclusion to Caesar's trilogy we've had here, and I can't wait to see what they do with the franchise after this. War for the Planet of the Apes was truly a really great movie. Number 11, I really struggled not putting it in the top 10, but I have to put it here because everything else is just so good. The Shape of Water is really a great movie. It's so good. Guillermo del Toro's direction here is magnificent. It's a whimsical, kind of dark romance, but it really works. It's really sweet. It has this weird like bittersweet thing going on, because it'll be really sweet, but then it'll get like incredibly dark and violent. But it was like this really excellent mix of the two, and I thought it was an excellent movie. Go see it if you haven't already. It's gonna get a lot of Oscar noms, and deservedly so. Okay, now we're getting into my top 10. Okay, number 10 is It. It was not the scary, like, clown-filled movie I thought it was gonna be, but I got something even better. I got a fantastic movie about growing up and childhood innocence and losing your innocence as a child, but having friends, and it's kind of this fun adventure movie, but they got their problems too, so it's kind of this personal, almost character study with these kids, and their problems are reflected by this evil clown that's terrorizing them, and Bill Skarsgård is fantastic as Pennywise. It was an excellent movie, and it had the best ensemble cast of the year, I think. These kids had amazing chemistry, and they really made it work. I can't wait for It Chapter 2. Okay, so number 9 is a movie I also wanted to put up higher on this list, but I couldn't do it, but it's still great. Lady Bird. Lady Bird was excellent. Greta Gerwig's script is one of the finest of the year. I think her direction here is very solid. Saoirse Ronan is fantastic in this. She gives one of the best performances of the year. Certainly one of the best female performances of the year. She's up there with my top 3, like Frances McDormand, Sally Hawkins, and Saoirse Ronan are my favorite lead actresses this year, in that order. But yeah, she's fantastic. Her character's great. I really wanted to see more of her after it was done. It's a really excellent coming-of-age story that feels very real, and I really recommend you go check it out. Lady Bird is really great. Number 8 is Logan. Logan was everything I needed out of it. It's Hugh Jackman's it's possibly Hugh Jackman's best performance, not just his best performance as Wolverine. He's amazing in this, as is Patrick Stewart, who delivers one of his best performances and one of the best supporting performances of the year. They're both weathered, old, like grizzled men, and they really show it in their characters, and they've hit the end of the road, and they're basically at rock bottom, and you really feel that. And Daphne Keane as X-23 is really, really good here. She and Hugh Jackman make an excellent pair. And then, like, Patrick Stewart's kind of this third-wheeling thing in the movie, but no, they're all great. This is truly an excellent movie. It was violent, it was R-rated, and it really needed that. They let loose, they didn't hold anything back, and it was a beautiful story. Logan is the best comic book movie of the year. Okay, number 7. A movie I really wanted to put into my top 5, but I couldn't quite get it there. But I've seen it twice, and I haven't reviewed it. I haven't reviewed most of these movies in my top 10. I'll let you know that now. But yeah, Call Me By Your Name. I reviewed the book for this, but I haven't reviewed the movie. But I've seen it twice, and I love it. I love it even more than the book. It took everything from the book that I didn't like out. Like, everything I didn't like in the book is gone. And they kept all the things I liked and it actually made them better. This is a fantastic romance. It wasn't cheesy, it wasn't creepy like it could have been, because the book kind of rides that line. It's actually kind of pervy, and I didn't like that. But no, this is just a really sensual, beautiful romance. It's about two men falling in love, and it's actually really excellent. It's weird that a gay romance is the best romance I've seen this year. It's kind of sad, but I shouldn't say that. But no, this is a truly excellent movie. Luca Guadagnino is an excellent director, and this is his best work yet. Armie Hammer is fantastic in this. Like, he's really great. This is his best work as well. And Timothée Chalamet is just excellent. He was in this and Lady Bird, also in my top 10 list. No, he plays two very different characters here. He has range. But yeah, they're both great. Their chemistry is really excellent in the movie. And it made me cry the second time. A lot of these movies I've seen twice, and they made me cry the second time. You're going to hear that a lot throughout this list, but no, Call Me By Your Name is the best romance movie of the year. It's really great. Number 6, Coco. Coco made me bawl my eyes out. I loved Coco. Coco is the best animated movie of the year. It has this, like, such rich, like, kind of Mexican heritage, like, vibe to it, but it was so well done, and it was so beautifully animated, and the characters were so charming, and they did everything right from what I've heard from you guys who've commented on my review about it, who were from Mexico. Apparently this really captured the culture incredibly well and celebrated it. It was that, along with just the amazing characters and emotion, and the fact that it just made me cry more than like any other Pixar movie, that maybe I have to put it up in the top 10 list. Yeah, Coco is truly like a special movie, and I wanted to put it higher on this list, but I just couldn't do it. Okay, so number 5. So I struggle with putting this, my number 5 and my number 3, in the places that they are. I kept switching them back and forth, but I'll tell you why when we get to my number 3. Number 5 is Blade Runner 2049. I wanted to put this higher up so bad, because Blade Runner 2049 is epic. But my number 3 is epic too. But this is a 3-hour long epic. This is a movie that takes its time, but packs an emotional punch by the end, and probably the best ending scene of the year. It truly, like, I was in tears at the end, both times I saw it. Second time more, but definitely the first time as well, because it's just such a beautifully made movie. The action's incredible when it's there. Their character building is just phenomenal. Ryan Gosling delivers one of the best performances of the year. Harrison Ford's really great too. He's like an honorable mention for my favorite supporting performances. He didn't quite make my list that I made, but Harrison Ford's fantastic in this as Deckard. They still retain the mysteries of his character, which I thought was excellent. I also really just love the story. The story is just so good. And especially the second time around, you really get to soak it in, and it takes its time for sure. So you do it the first time, but it packs such an emotional punch, and it's like, by the end, it was just so rewarding. Blade Runner 2049 is fantastic. and that's why it makes my top 5. Number 4. Okay, so this entire top 5, I should probably mention, is the most interchangeable thing on this list. It's so hard to rank these, like, because I had movies. My number 1 was my number 3 originally, so. Anyway, number 4 is Baby Driver. I think you remember me praising this movie early on in the year, back in like May. And I'm still praising it now because Baby Driver is awesome. But now everyone's seen it and they know how awesome it is because Baby Driver is the coolest movie of the year. The action is so well directed and choreographed to this music perfectly. Edgar Wright is the best director of the year. Like, he's my personal favorite. Like, he does my favorite directing job of the year. And his script is also fantastic. It's sharp, it's fast-paced, everything's awesome in this movie. Like, this is truly one of the best, like, this is the best, like, straight-up action movie of the year. But it's also kind of a fun romance and a comedy, but it's a lot of things, but one thing it isn't is slow. I had to say that. No, Baby Driver's fantastic. Go check it out if you haven't already, but you probably have, because a lot of people have seen this movie. But that's a good thing. Number 3. Number 3 is, I struggled putting it where it is. I was going to put it at number 5, but I thought about it, I saw it again, and I got the most, like, excited reaction out of this movie both times I saw it. Star Wars: The Last Jedi. I was gonna put this at number 5, but when I thought back to my theater experiences and my overall movie experiences of the year, Star Wars: The Last Jedi was probably my most satisfying and most excited and cheerful, like, experience because I was so into it, and I still love this movie. It's really fantastic. Does it have its problems? Of course. I've started to notice them more over time, but it kind of makes me love the movie even more because it does do something different for the franchise. It is the Empire Strikes Back of this new trilogy, but not in a way that copies Empire. It pays tribute to it in a way, but it's its own thing. This is a movie that a lot of people don't like because, they didn't get all the answers again, and this thing was kind of pointless. I mean, yeah, there's a pointless subplot in the movie, but it doesn't last very long. And everything that you could argue is pointless, maybe you're right, but it adds to the movie, it adds to the overall experience, and I think it's going to add a lot to Episode 9 come the time. I really think this is the Empire Strikes Back of its day, where people were kind of mixed on it, like, when it comes out, but I think over time this is going to be considered as one of the great Star Wars movies, because it really is. It's probably my second favorite Star Wars movie still. It's fantastic. I love the characters, I love the world still. Everything here is really great. The subplot isn't necessarily great, but that's just kind of a minor nitpick. And an overall fantastic Star Wars movie, and one of the best movies of 2017. So if you expected that to be my favorite movie of the year, well, you were sorely mistaken. We got 2 more I haven't talked about on this channel that are my favorites. Number 2 is another movie I wasn't sure if I wanted to keep where it is, but I think I'm going to because of how original this movie is and sharp it is and unique it is. 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri was just great. It was actually my favorite movie of the year for quite some time. So 3 Billboards has the best screenplay of the year in Martin McDonagh's screenplay. It's truly a fantastic screenplay. This is a sharp movie. It's unique. People say things that you wouldn't consider ethical these days, but it works so well with these characters, and the character building's really excellent. There's an arc for people who may have done some really bad things early on in the movie, but they can be redeemed by the end of it. It's really excellent in that way. It's very unpredictable, which is another reason why I have it high up on this list, or as high up on this list as I do. The performances are fantastic. Frances McDormand gives the best performance of the year from my actress, I think. Probably her best performance too. She's so good in this, as is Woody Harrelson and Sam Rockwell and really everyone else involved. Like, Three Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri is probably the most tight movie I've seen. I don't know, my number one is pretty tight too, but this is a really excellent and unique movie, and that's why I have it at number 2. Number 1. A lot of people already know what my number 1 is, because if you follow me on social media, you would know, or at least you probably know. As I said, it wasn't my number 1 initially, but I saw it again, I thought about it more, and I was thinking, what movie this year gave me the most fulfilling experience? What movie am I going to rewatch many times over again? And what movie just gave me that drive? I never got that A+ movie this year, but I did get The Disaster Artist, and it was great. The Disaster Artist is such a fulfilling movie. I've been excited for this movie for a long, long time. Like a really, really long time. Keep in mind, like, I've been looking forward to this movie since, like, 2015. So, for it to be as fulfilling as it was is something excellent. James Franco gives the best performance of the year in this movie as Tommy Wiseau, or Wiseau, I should call him. He's fantastic. He is unrecognizable in this movie. This movie made me feel sympathy for Tommy Wiseau, and it's not just about The Room and how silly it was making The Room. It was actually a movie about friendship, and this kind of odd friendship that forms between Greg Sestero and Tommy Wiseau, and it's really excellent. Dave Franco and James Franco have excellent chemistry. They're brothers, so they should. But they don't feel like brothers in this, which is really great. They're able to distinguish themselves enough from their actual real life, especially James Franco, to where, yeah, they don't feel like brothers. They feel like these kind of odd friends. And it really works, and this movie really made me feel for Tommy Wiseau, especially at that ending. But the ending's also the most powerful thing I've seen this year, apart from Blade Runner's ending. But, no, it's such an inspiring but kind of sad movie. It's like, it's both uplifting, sad, and it's like, it has a weird combination of the two, because it is kind of a sad ending, but it's also a happy ending, because this man got what he wanted. He became rich and famous. He kind of achieved his goal, even if it wasn't in the way he was expecting, but it's excellent, and The Room is one of my favorite bad movies, if not my favorite bad movie of all time. So it just helps even more that it's about the making of The Room. So every once in a while you'd be like, oh, it's that scene, or oh, they're doing that thing, or something like that. But no, it really was just a fantastic movie about friendship, and it really spoke to me, especially the second time around, and I did cry the second time as well. It's just such a fantastic movie. I never got my A+ movie this year, but man, The Disaster Artist is a fantastic movie still. It's almost an A+ movie for me. But no, it's really freaking good. So Disaster Artist is my favorite movie of the year. Sorry if I ain't very enthusiastic in this video, I kind of lost my voice. But my top 10 worst list will be up soon. Very soon. I'm excited to do that. I don't know if I might have this up on January the 1st. I'm not sure. We'll have to see by the time I have this up. But that's my top 15 best movies of 2017. Disaster Artist is the crown jewel this year. Kind of surprisingly, actually. But no, fantastic movie. Y'all gotta see it. I know I'm still talking about it after I've already. Yeah, but no, just go see it. It's really, really great. Okay, so top 10 worst list is next. But yeah, so you're gonna probably like some of the movies that are on my list. So go there as soon as you can and check out my tribute to the best movies of 2017. But so